Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Finally, a real patriotic American, or simply a real American. Why? Because if you're an American, you're supposed to be patriotic, to love your country more than any other country. Otherwise, you should be somewhere else. So, that's my assessment as an immigrant. And when you are moving to another country, you moved because you love this one better than the one that you left over there. Otherwise, you will go back. So here you have this fantastic senator who doesn't actually say something out of the ordinary. But now you remember George Orwell's statement from 1984 from the dystopian novel. In these times, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. So it seems like right now saying something, having common sense, something that shouldn't be out of the ordinary, is supposed to be something extreme, something that is, oh my God, or maybe frowned upon. So what did this great senator say? And I'm not talking about any other than Rand Paul. Russia Today, July 11th, 2023. US Senator slams Kiev's NATO demands. So he smacks Zelensky, the darling of the big forces. Rand Paul has called Ukrainian again. President Vladimir Zelensky's complaints about the Western alliance audacious and ungrateful. End quote. I think Zelensky's rant or whining online meet the description right here, the words. So US Senator Rand Paul has called out an audacious rant by Vladimir Zelensky on NATO's reluctance to guarantee a cession for Kiev, saying the Ukrainian president might need to recalibrate his complaints to avoid alienating Western allies. And I'm quoting, "That's an old English adage he might need to become aware of. Never look a gift horse in the mouth." End quote. Paul, a Republican from Kentucky, said on Tuesday in a Fox News interview, and I'm quoting again, "We've given them $100 billion, and he has the audacity to be so brazen as to tell us we'd better speed it up? I'd say that's audacious. I'd say it's brazen, and that's not very grateful for the $100 billion that we've given him so far." End quote. Now, let me tell you a little thing. Someone said about certain kind of individuals that they do like this. You help them, you help them, you help them, and then they come, let's say today, and say, "Hey, Gigi, you didn't help me. Why didn't you help me?" And you say, "Wait a minute, Gigi, I helped you yesterday. I helped you the day before. I helped you last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 5 years ago. I've been helping you every day." And his question will be, yes, 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 but what did you do for me today? So you can help them every day. That means today as well. They will never, never be grateful. So you rather not help them next time. And see how that works. You know how that works? They're going to point the finger at you and they will say, "You could have done better, but you didn't. It's your fault." Well, since when this is my duty to cover for you? To help you? Since when? Some people, get in trouble, we got in trouble on our own doing. Right? We do certain things, we expose ourselves, we have yap a little bit too loud, and we get it. And then we say, "Hey, help me." And if nobody helped you, it's their fault, not your fault. That you were too mouthy, you made a pass on to this guy's wife or girlfriend, maybe you tried to touch her, and when you get punched in the teeth, you say, "Help, help, help, he attacked me, see, I'm the victim here." Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, look back and look at the chronology of the events, my friends, and see where it started. So same here. This guy, not his country, those people supposedly received through Zelensky $100 billion, and he's like, not enough. Hey, we should have been in NATO right now. You're bad dudes. Well, sometimes you will be told no. Someone will tell you no in this world. You're not used to that. Since when you feel like you're so entitled that everybody has to kneel and suck your little thing? Huh? And maybe you use it as a toothpick. Okay, now you take it back. Anyway, look, let's go back here. Paul made his comments after Zelensky slammed NATO for declining to provide a roadmap to membership. US President Biden and other NATO weasel leaders have sought to avoid a direct war with Russia by delaying Ukraine's accession. That was just logical. The alliance kicked off its two-day summit in Vilnius on Tuesday by issuing a statement saying that Kiev would be invited to join the group only when allies agree and conditions are met. And they will not start any process until the war in Ukraine will be determined. So this guy, Zelensky, delivered a scattering criticism of Kiev's Western supporters on the first day of the summit, saying it was, I'm quoting, unprecedented and absurd for Ukraine to be denied a concrete timeline for being given an invitation and joining NATO. He also criticized vague wording about Kiev needing to meet criteria, certain conditions before being allowed to become a member. Hey boy, you can look at the, how do you call it, the process. There's one by one listed what you need to do over there. Nothing vague about it. You know what you need to do. Paul was one of the 19 Republican lawmakers who demanded a halt to unrestrained U.S. aid to Ukraine in April, saying Biden should instead focus on seeking a diplomatic solution to avoid prolonging the bloodshed. He also criticized Biden's decision to send cluster bombs to Ukraine, saying in Tuesday's Fox interview that the conflict can only end through a negotiated solution. End quote. I'm quoting right now. As long as we continue to supply unlimited arms to Zelensky, I think he sees no reason to have any negotiations. End quote. Putin said, and Paul said, Jesus Christ. Paul said, and I'm quoting again. So I think we're putting off negotiations, but ultimately the losers are the Ukrainian people. End quote. Now, see this? Remember this. As long as we continue to supply unlimited arms to Zelensky, I think he sees no reason to have any negotiations. I spoke about what some historians claim Poland negotiated click with the Germans in bad faith. In the same way. Why? Because the British and the French promised the Poles that if the Germans do anything to them, they would intervene on their behalf. So therefore, and I'm reading right here, Poland sees no reason to have any negotiations with the Germans. Why should they? They can't threaten them. Well, in the 1st of September 1939, unfortunately, those guys invaded. Okay? And what happened? The Brits intervened, the French intervened. Hey, the Soviet Union invaded from the east. Those two weasel guys that intervened against Germany did not intervene against Soviet Union. Why? Because they were guaranteeing, Great Britain and France were guaranteeing Poland's sovereignty, not only against Germany, against anybody else. So when they declared war against Germany, but not against Soviet Union, what does that tell you? Principle? No. Values? No. Maybe allies? In the future they became, during the Second World War. So why were they so keen on destroying those guys, evil guys, the Nazis, but not the communists? Well, I can't say why. I have my own information, knowledge, and assessment. Not the time, not the place. All right? Anyway, I think Rand Paul is very, very right to say what he said. And that tells me that he has courage. Remember, he's going to be attacked by those forces more and more for this one. Look at Nixon. After all, Nixon was what? With his little thing over there, with wiretapping the DNC, Democratic National whatever convention or whatever they had over there, the Watergate. That was again, it was another well done job by a certain kind of interest. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Zelensky would not care. We're just gonna smack verbally somehow. He's gonna be rude, talking about Rand Paul and so on, because that's the way he does. He did it before, he's gonna do it again. Why? Because he knows his sponsors are stronger than Rand Paul and the 19 GOP blah blah blah. See you next.